anecdotally, so many people just tell me if I interact with the audience through social media or they call the show or I meet them at these live shows we do, there's so many narratives that either go back to 2008, that crisis hit them and things have actually not really been the same since, or if they're younger, that their whole perception of what their life trajectory was going to be was significantly altered. So therefore, all of a sudden they weren't particularly interested to see what Fareed Zakaria had to say about a Davos meeting. They wanted something that was real to their lives. And I think internationally there's an increasing recognition that in addition to dealing with the humanitarian crisis and the terrorism of Trump administration policy towards immigrant and refugee communities, that there's a global dimension to that too. If you support a coup in Honduras, as the Obama administration did in 2009, and then you support a narco-state, as they do now, that's going to generate the conditions of a refugee crisis, as an example. So I think people are in place to think a little bit more in terms of systems and patterns, and that's where the international stuff comes in.
I'm particularly struck with that because one of the least, for me, in my perception, one of the least developed aspects of the whole immigration crisis is the responsibility that the United States has for causing the immigration in the first place, let alone the abusive treatment when they get here. But the notion that we are the pure victims of some unexplained process descending on us that we have no agency in producing is amazing.
From Latin America to the Middle East in terms of military interventions, and then the global migration patterns due to climate, that's all emanating from the centers to the peripheries. And that's the fun. And there's a lot of people I think are actually hungry to hear something even beyond the standard white nationalist message and then we're a nation of immigrants, blah, blah, blah.
I'm struck, too, because I hadn't heard, until you just said it, that you have evidence that the interest in international aspects is also growing. I find that enormously encouraging, that it isn't just here we are in the United States, but a recognition of how embedded we are in a larger world.
Well, I mean, it's self-selected. If you're watching and listening to my show, you have to be interested in the global dimension because that is a big part of it. But I think that, people do see these patterns. They say, why is Trump running this country? Who is this guy in India or Brazil? What's happening in Israel? And then, conversely, the sort of elite legacy neoliberal media, or however you want to define it, they're obsessed with Trudeau and Macron and these people that represent this collapsed consensus. So they're seeing a pattern. And also in the, positive analogs as well, what Corbyn offers, why Lula's in jail, and social movements that they can graft themselves onto.